Hey guys, so today we're going to be reviewing Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. These guys are the founders of 37 Singles, which is a software company that produces products. So these guys are successful entrepreneurs themselves, so the advice is something to listen to. This book is honestly a slap in the face for business books and business knowledge because a lot of these things are common sense, but in this day and age where there's lots of information flowing, there's a lot of people telling you do this, do that, do this, do that. A lot of things get misguided and you don't know what to do. So a lot of this book, a lot of business itself is common sense, but a lot of times people don't use their common sense. So it's not just another business book. It is something that every entrepreneur should read. So this book is for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and honestly, people who are stuck at a job that they hate. It shows you what is possible and how to actually get there with practical business advice from people who actually made it. The first key takeaway I got from this book is that planning is guessing. When you're making a business plan, there's so many factors to take into consideration that you can't even control. For example, customers, competition, the economy, things of that nature. So when you're making a business plan, it is basically business guesses. You don't know. What you should do though is just improvise with what is happening today. If you were to make a business plan, let's say that is going to cover you the next 3 years, and you're going to make that plan and you're going to follow that plan for the next 3 years. Let's say 2 years into it, things are changing. Obviously, because it's 2 years later, technology advances, business advances, everything moves forward, things of that nature. So you're going to be following an outdated plan. So it's best to just improvise as you go. For example, if you were to start a social media, let's say you make an entire social media plan. You have the most information when you're starting, when you're actually doing it, than before starting. So let's say you've never been on social media before. Next time you never went on Instagram, you never went on Twitter, you never went on Pinterest, you never went on YouTube. And you're going to make a plan like this. Okay, let's make a business plan for all these platforms. And you have not a lot of information because you've never been on the platform, you never actually did it, you never got feedback, all these things. So you have the most information when you're doing something. So it's best to just go with it. Obviously have a general idea, obviously, figure it out, have just a general business plan, but you have the most information when you're doing something. So the best thing to do, instead of deciding what you're gonna do the next year, decide what the next most important thing to do in the next week and do it. Every single week, just ask yourself this question: what are the next 3 or next 2 most important things I can do to move my business forward, and do that. It's just that simple. The second key takeaway I got from this book is that you need to launch your business as quickly as possible. If I were to ask you to launch your business in the next 2 weeks, what would you do? You would realize that with the things that you're working on now, you're not probably you may not be prioritizing as well, and you're probably focusing on stuff that you don't need. So what you want to do is focus on what actually matters. You want to build the necessities now, launch, and then build the luxuries later on. So focus on what your product actually needs to accomplish, what it actually needs to do, launch it, and then focus on the other little things later, like for example, the design, all these other little things. So, but obviously, when you're launching, let's say in the next 2 weeks or as quick as possible, you do not want to skimp out on the quality. You want to, of course, make something great, but at the same time, launch it out as quickly as possible and build what your product actually needs to do and what it needs to accomplish. So the third key takeaway I got from this book is to not copy your competitors. So for example, when Netflix launched out one of the first online video marketplaces where you can watch all your seasons, all these things, they launched that, and then Show Me, I think, came out a couple years later and basically copied exactly what Netflix was. Obviously had different shows, but with the reason why I think they're shutting down, I think it's November 30th, they're shutting down their business, and they lost, I think, $100 million of their investment, is because they copied what Netflix was doing. And they did not realize there's a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles in the way with doing these business models. So that's the reason why they're basically going out of business. So the problem when you're copying is you're going to miss out on the point of understanding why you do something. So when someone does something, they know why they did it because of learning experiences and from mistakes. So you're going to need to know why someone does something. You need to understand it in order to grow. And another problem with copying is you're always going to be in a passive position. You're always going to be copying someone. So that means you're always going to be behind and you never be able to get ahead. So do not copy your competitors and just do what you think you need to do and set your own rules. So some final words on this book. I'd honestly recommend it to every single entrepreneur and business owner out there, because honestly, even myself, I find myself rereading this, so I make sure I'm not making the mistakes that are out there. When you don't even use your common sense, you forget the basic principles of business itself. Also, this book is written by successful entrepreneurs, so it's good to listen to these people who actually made it, who actually already did these things. So honestly, a really good read, a really good slap in the face of business knowledge, so definitely go check it out. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you did like this book review, make sure to check out our free book summary. Link is in the description below. It's basically all these, I think there's like a bunch of pages. There are 230 pages condensed into around 10 to 15 pages. It'll have 90 to 95% of the value. So if you want to download the free book summary, link is in the description below. Peace.